Hello, lovelies. So today's reading is a really beautiful one because I pulled from the two different decks here. I pulled from Seasons of the Witch Imbolc Oracle, which carries themes of awakening, cleansing, healing, that innocence, inspiration, that coming back into the light and transitioning from that darkness. Um, that movement from, like I said, from darkness to new hope. And pulled out the new deck, Seasons of the Witch Ostara Oracle. I love this deck; it's so gorgeous. Which holds themes of it's about alignment and growth, that rebirth, the sacred space, the strength, and new beginnings. Right. So like babies are being born, nests are being built, all that energy we're coming into. And because it's kind of overlapping a bit energetically speaking right now, as you know, in the northern hemisphere, things are warming up, the snow is melting, you could hear birds coming out more often now. So I figured it was a perfect time to grab information, to grab cards from both decks. Also, today is the 222 portal, or second month, 22nd day. So it's really powerful that these cards kind of came together this way. Because Imbolc is like the spark of light returning, and the Ostara is stepping fully into that new growth. So the cards do reflect this transition, and I just think it's turned out really great. So let's get into it here. We started off with, from the Ostara, is chicks. So this card is about innocence and purity and inspired heart-led action. The message on the bottom here is, there is no greater power than the light that lives on through acts inspired by the heart. And you see her, she's carrying all these little chicks inside her apron here. Um, it's that small but powerful new beginning energy in this one. Chicks are tiny, but they represent life starting again. This feels like confirmation that whatever you stepped into recently, you did it with a good heart. You did it sincerely. You moved towards something with hope. And that matters. Your softness was not a mistake. Now, the next card that came out was how this deepens up is a composting. Composting says in the bottom, it is through remembrance of the past that you can create a more powerful future. So, composting is about taking what didn't grow, right? Taking what didn't work and things that didn't transpire the way you expected, and to transform it. It's not throwing those things away, but it's not pretending it didn't hurt, right? It's just using it differently. There are remnants and emotions and memories that are leftover pieces of something that didn't work out. And so composting is coming in to say, instead of letting that rot inside you, you're asked to alchemize it differently, to take those energies, those feelings, those memories that were left over, and you're turning it into nourishment for who you're becoming. And this is growth, this is maturity, this is realignment. How can you see that this is what's happening? um for example, remembering a place you used to come from, a job, a relationship, something that used to light you up but fell apart and didn't work out. Remembering that situation longingly, but also being aware that, you know what, as much as that was great at the time, I can do better. I can honor myself in other ways. I can be aware and recognize that it wasn't the right place for me, or for that job or that person or that thing. And so now it's that composting of, right? You're taking that shoulda, woulda, coulda, and saying, you know what, that's fine, that's good. Shoulda, woulda, coulda is great, but this is now what I'm stepping into. I'm coming in with a new hope, a new awareness, a new expectation. And so I'm going to take that energy and change it and turn it into something else. Now, when it comes to the Imbolc cards, right, what we were working on and what we've been doing and what led to this, I mean, it could be read both ways. So here what we're looking at is winter besom. So the message on the bottom comes off and says, sweep away ill intent while creating boundaries weaved with protection, a which respects passages of safety. So from this composting, you're now able to see what really serves you, right? So, and it's because you've done that inner composting now, the discernment comes in. Winter besom. Besom is the broom that is put across the top of the threshold of a witch in order to protect their household. And it is about sweeping away negative energies and whatnot. So it's about protection. It's about boundaries. It's about sweeping away those ill intents, right? Being aware of, and I know it's repetitive, but this is really the emphasis of the card. It doesn't say to close your heart. It just says to protect your doorway. Not everyone gets access to this new version of you. Not every old pattern gets safe passage, because it's up to you now to create the type of experience you want by allowing things to come and go as you please. And not all those old patterns get safe passage back into your life. And this is you honoring what you've learned up until this point. And for House Mouse, I love this card. House Mouse on the bottom says, you know the things you are capable of, but are you confident in leaning into that belief? Now, what this tells me is that, even with the chicks card, you're coming in small. It's a new experience. Like, it's like the shedding that was done all after all the old skin that's been shedded. You've composted the past and your feelings, you're setting your boundaries, but this part that feels very human and new, it's feeling very small and inexperienced. This house mouse is tiny in a world of giants, right? But it still moves, it still survives, it still accomplishes its quests. It's stepping into new dynamics, new experiences, new ways of being, and that's why you're feeling tiny and small. But here, your awareness is in an emotional fulfillment. There is support, and you're being held. And I mean, held not only because of, there's support in the background and all these whimsical, magical things, but just even with the antlers here, see the size of the antlers? The size of the antlers is also a representation of the strength of the animal. And so here you have the strength. You have everything you need. This feeling small is just because you're stepping into a new experience you've never done before. So it's new dynamics, new ways of being. And it feels vulnerable. It feels inexperienced, but small can be mighty. And that's how this card is coming in to say, don't let the sense of who you are limit yourself in thinking you can't accomplish amazing things. And when it comes to bringing it all together, what I love about this spread is these two decks are like mirroring each other. So the Imbolc is about awakening, and the Ostara is this growth that's happening. So you began with innocence, and you composted what didn't work. You set the boundaries to protect what was sacred, and now you're stepping forward, even if you feel tiny doing it. It's not regression, it's like a rebirth. It's this tiny beginnings with massive potential. I'm sorry, I'm gonna zoom out here. So it's the whole thing for the collective today is just don't lose your softness, right? Just learn how to guard it. Even if you feel small stepping into something new, you're more than capable than you realize. Now, if you want more details on this for yourself, please let me know and we can do a reading. Otherwise, have a beautiful, beautiful day, and we will see you in the next one.